Oh, good. You have a letter for me. I never tire of the things. You're certainly missing the meek spinelessness of a Dominion courier. You know the letter's contents, don't you? Why not tell me, and spare my eyes the strain? Unhappy? Well, that's one way to put it. More livid, I'd say. The problem is Queen Irene's promise of help. From what I've seen, she's not the type to shirk commitments. Yet almost a year later, and no Khajiit embassy. Good question. You wish to serve the Comoran throne? You can start by asking Prince Naaman why his people aren't fulfilling their promises. He's the one who seems to have the entire Elden Tree lodged up his flue. I can say that. I'm the king.
Yes? Quickly now. Don't leave your mouth to hang agape. That again? My sister, Queen Irene, foolishly committed to build the Khajiit an embassy months ago. Everything was to be handled through Ambassador Tarinwe at the Ultima Embassy. Ask a stonemason. I have to prepare for the ratification ceremony before Queen Irene's arrival. I can't be troubled with such minor issues. If you care to pursue the matter, speak with Ambassador Tarinwe at the Ultima Embassy. An archaic wood elf ritual. If she dances to their tune, Queen Irene will be recognized by the heavens as a worthy candidate for Emperor of Tamriel. Rubbish, if you ask me. To promote harmony, she'd tell you. The same reason she picked this bizarre tree city as the Dominion's capital. She wants every member of the Dominion to feel as though they're equal. Oh, we need to be unified against our enemies, and having a high elf in charge is paramount to our success. But do we really need all this coddling? The ratification ceremony, the business with the embassy, more problems due to harmony.
You're not one for waiting in lines, are you?
What are you afraid of? Words?
I suppose a wanderer like you wouldn't know what busy looks like. I will demonstrate. Feel free to observe, quietly and from a distance. Oh, forgive my manners. There's so much to do in preparing for Queen Irene's ratification ceremony. Tempers fray, as I'm sure you can understand. But if Prince Naaman sent you, it must be important. What can I do for you? Why would Prince Naaman care about that? If they are too lazy to build their own embassy, can't they afford an inn? Well, of course, I ordered it done. I hired some wood elves to excavate the stone and set aside supplies for Khajiit to use. It isn't my fault if the locals couldn't do their jobs. Check our storeroom. The Khajiit didn't even bother to pick up the supplies. In the meantime, I'm off to locate Prince Naaman. If he didn't send you here with his blessing, I'll see you face Dominion justice. We'll see what Prince Naaman thinks of your impertinent questions.
That's far enough. The storeroom is off limits. Ambassador Turin weighs orders. She did? That's different then. Show me her orders and I'll stand aside. Then I can't let you inside. Her instructions were very specific. No one gets in without her written permission. I'm to remain at my post until relieved. Except in an emergency, of course. The Khajiits could riot. That would be bad. Very bad. Or a fire, of course. But the chances of that happening are slim. What? Did you hear that? I could have sworn it was my captain calling me away.
Where is the guard? And what are you doing here? I'd expected you would solve problems at the embassy, not cause them. Do you realize what's happening out here? Oh, never mind. Explain what you were doing in that storeroom. Why would she do that? Oh, never mind. Well, what did you find? Typical bureaucratic corruption. I expected better of the ambassador. No matter. Supplies can be replaced. What about the Khajiit embassy? Did she say why construction hasn't begun? What do you mean, collect stone? That should have happened months ago. They should be ready to build it. I'll talk to the ambassador myself. Put the fear of the Dominion into her. I'm surprised we didn't pass each other on the road. Get to those ruins and find that work crew. I want to know why they haven't done their jobs. I won't have Queen Iren's word impugned by someone else's incompetence.
Fight? Good.
You there. We need to talk. Saw you standing over the body of a dead wood elf. Nearly put an arrow in your throat. Good thing I recognize you. Azerith, I'm Dusk Ranger. We work directly for King Camoran Eredon. Saw you earlier in the throne room. The king had his suspicions about the missing work crew and asked me to look into it. Seems we both have a stake in this. I know enough. Khajiit owed an embassy. They're angry the High Elves are dragging their feet to build it. Seemed like politics until a dozen stonemasons vanished without a trace. The king sent me to find out why. Before the Dominion, King Camoran Eredon nearly lost a civil war. I came to see if the missing stonemasons were targeted by the Blacksap Rebellion. But Blacksap would have displayed the bodies, not left them as food for Horvor. The king suspects Ambassador Tarinway has been up to no good. Little things, some of her associations. But he can't accuse his allies of undermining the whole alliance. So he sent me to deal with it. Ambassador Tarinway used criminals to smuggle supplies. Never directly, but enough for us to notice. I'm not saying she had these stonemasons killed, but I'd like to ask her myself. Problem is, there's nothing we can do while she's in the Altmer embassy. If she left the embassy, she knows someone's onto her. She'll go to ground, try to flee. Have someone smuggle her out of Grahtwood. We should probably stop her. Meet me by the Middens, at the base of the Elden Tree. I'll be there shortly.
Where's our empathy?
Please, listen to me for just a moment. It's very important. Doom has come to Craglorn. The stars have vanished from the sky. Will no one listen? Will no one help? I'm an initiate in the Order of Stargazers. We study the stars and their influence on Tamriel. Not long ago, we noticed irregularities in 3 of the star signs. Shortly thereafter, strange armies overran Craglorn. One of our order, Hara, is leading our efforts to stop these attacks. But we are not warriors. This cart will take you to Belkarth in Craglorn, where you can speak to her personally. Please, help us.
They call this place the Middens because it's where all the refuse ends up. We clear them out now and again, but they always come back. Necessary evil, I'm told. Spoke with someone I trust. She's definitely here. We should get moving. We're not far behind her. Capture her, bring her in for questioning. Find proof she's behind this so Prince Naaman doesn't explode with outrage. Never thought I'd hunt a High Elf ambassador. Smugglers, skooma addicts, and more than a few criminals. They keep to themselves, but sometimes they band together to repel outsiders. Kind of like a filthier version of the Dominion. Our goal is to find Ambassador Tarinwe before she buys passage out of Grahtwood. Staying in the shadows, avoiding unnecessary conflict, that's what I'd do. But there's a lot of ground to search. I'll follow your lead.
What, are you going to hit me too? You're just like the rest of them, aren't you? Everyone that comes through here, they all hit me.
Won't you take pity on me?
Prince Naaman sent someone to the embassy. We have to leave before we're discovered.
It's too late! For the Heritons!
On your feet. You're coming with me.
Why? Where are you taking me?
To King Camoran Eridan, where you'll answer for crimes against the Dominion.
He'll have me killed and served for dinner.
Only if you're proven guilty. And if you are, none of us could stomach you. Now get moving! Good working with you. I'll take her from here. You should inform the king of the good news.
You've returned. What have you learned of the Khajiit embassy? Oh, good. Nothing I enjoy more than talk of conspiracy. Did the ambassador have a manifesto? They usually have manifestos. No matter. I trust you resolved it. Splendid. I'll allow you the honor of informing Prince Naaman. Why not tell him the duly selected High Elf ambassador was working against the very Dominion she pledged to support? I'll sit in my throne and try not to gloat.
I heard what you told the king. Ambassador Tarinway a traitor? Disgraceful. Makes the rest of us look bad. But the Dominion owes you its thanks. As Queen Iren's representative in Eldenroot, the duty falls to me. We'll interrogate Ambassador Tarinway until we know the extent of her treason. Then she'll die, as all traitors must. But no matter. Your efficiency in resolving this matter was commendable, and the Dominion rewards its servants. Ambassador Tarinway's betrayal could not have been more absolute. She knew the details of the ratification ceremony, which puts Queen Irene at risk. It's my sister's own fault. She thought to appease the Sylvanar and the Main by agreeing to this foolish process. The ratification ceremony ends with the orrery, an ancient device beneath Elden Root. It will divine Queen Irene's capacity to become Empress, or some such. But Ambassador Tarinway assisted in the preparations. I must assume she tried to sabotage the proceedings. Doing so would make Queen Irene look weak. No, we must proceed. You've proven your competence, so I'll ask you to speak with Melaras. He's an expert on the orrery and knows what must be done. Quite pleasant once you grow accustomed to the smell. The preparations for this ratification ceremony seem endless, but I'm up to the task. She asked how she could prove herself their rightful leader. The Sylvanar suggested the orrery nonsense, and the Main agreed. Of course, neither will be present to see it, yet my sister is held to her pledge. How unexpected. The Sylvanar is on some sort of pilgrimage. You think the spiritual incarnation of the Wood Elves could stick to a schedule? As for the Main, I cannot begin to understand the excuses of the Khajiiti mystics. There will be no Main. This is all I know. King Camoran Eredan. It's beneath his city, so there's no turning him away. And myself, of course.
Please don't mind Prince Naaman. Ambassador Tarinway's betrayal is a shock to us all. But no matter, the orrery must work flawlessly for the Queen. That's what we will ensure. Enough to be of service. The orrery hasn't functioned as intended for ages. We planned to use some rather delicate magic to trick it into operation. But if Prince Naaman believes there was sabotage, we must look to an alternative method. Why, we'll look to the past! According to legend, the orrery required a skilled operator, an alien source of power, and a divine spark before it would function. Without all three, it won't do anything but spin. Quite pretty, but not very useful. Conservator Daraneth maintains the orrery and has studied the alien monitoring rituals. Unfortunately, she was called away to South Point for a personal matter. If you can locate her and convince her to return, we'll have our operator. I've researched this a bit. Really, you need to be in 3 places at once. Simple, right? But the Fallen Esti winter site is rumored to hold a relic of the Khajiiti thief god. For our purposes, Radchin's mantle will serve as the divine spark, if it's truly there, of course. The heart of a numeral originally brought life to the orrery, according to the texts. It long ago went missing, but a member of the local mages guild named Laranalda theorizes it's in a local Ayleid ruin. She's currently at the Reliquary of Stars, seeking the heart of a numeral. Conservator Daraneth maintains the orrery and has studied the Ayleid monitoring ritual. Wonderful! Have anything you find sent directly to the orrery. Once everything is in place, we can begin the ratification ceremony. And do refrain from referring to Conservator Daraneth as a missing element.
Once you ask us to store and...
Have you heard about the madness in South Point? My camp sister said she saw people building houses out of mud crabs.
And how would that work exactly? They'd skitter away. Don't believe everything you hear.
Doubt if you will. My sister does not lie. I might go there to see for myself.
A weapon depends...
I hate clutter.
Did you hear about the attempt on the king's life? Someone saved him.
The working of steel is a war.
Puts us in dark places because it's our job to be a light there. Right behind you, partner. What do you think you'll make with that?
Way. Moon sugar is a spice used in many Khajiiti dishes. Calling it cat drugs is demeaning to me and my people.
I may have spoken harshly, but moon sugar is dangerous. It's used to make skooma, as your people know very well. and therefore it's a drug. If skooma is illegal, moon sugar should also be.
Preposterous. That's like saying we should stop growing golden pears because they are used to make ale. You elves are too much for me sometimes, always losing sight of the forest for the trees. Well, what do you think? Yes, you there. What are your thoughts on this?
You there, halt! There's great danger ahead. South Point is currently off limits. You'll need to keep back for your own safety. The citizens of South Point are killing each other in the streets. I've seen nothing like it. Captain Alonthor may need help evacuating survivors. You'll find him by the road, outside the town.
Turn back, citizen. South Point is... I don't know what to call it exactly. I sent 3 of my best scouts into South Point to answer that very question, but none returned. Until I know their fates, I can't request reinforcements. But I won't send anyone else inside until I know what happened to my scouts. You see my predicament. I certainly won't stop you. One of South Point's citizens also offered to help find the scouts, but she seemed a bit eccentric. Perhaps she has something to offer beyond alarming theories? You should know Dareneth has some sort of position in Elden Root. Seems to think her reputation precedes her. No need to kiss the hem of her robes, but she's far less prickly if you show her some respect. Last I saw Dareneth, she was taking shelter in one of the tents. I could do without this damnable rain. It's been storming since we arrived, and it shows no sign of letting up. Ask what you will. I don't care to speculate. I can only act upon what I know. It's apparent that the townsfolk have caused harm to themselves and others within South Point. Yes, it seems they've all gone mad, but until I know for certain, all I can do is hope to contain it. Strange reports arrived in Elden Root a week ago. Little things, people acting oddly. But when a South Point guard delivered his own severed tongue to the Altmer embassy, someone noticed. If we weren't spread so thin, we'd have been here earlier. General Endari pulled her entire company from the Haven and left for parts unknown. In her absence, we filled the gaps. I tried to commandeer forces from the Grey Mire, but the Thalmor Inner Council considers Argonian refugees a greater threat, in their wisdom. Centuries ago, it was an Imperial stronghold, but now it's known as a sleepy coastal town with a big cathedral.
Did someone call my name? Did Captain Alonthor send you to mock me? Did you come to tell me I don't know the work of a Daedric prince when I see one? Isn't it obvious? Madness swept through South Point like a plague, and so quickly. Only one Daedric prince has such power. Sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness. You have heard of him, haven't you? Doesn't seem like it's mustering up any excitement. I'm exceptionally concerned. It is my home, after all. But I'd rather show my concern by doing something about the problem. The captain wanted to find his scouts, didn't he? We should get going. Of course, you need someone who knows the town, and I need someone with whom to take a stroll in this lovely rain. No use arguing, I've been getting my way since before you were born. Or do you want a sweet old woman to show more courage than you? Yes, what of it? Actually, I'm needed in South Point. Unless the Queen prefers it left to the whims of a Daedric prince, she can wait. Are dangerous. We should check the homes, be neighborly, see if those inside know where the scouts are. No scout. And I do hope that smell came out of an animal. No scouts here, just my neighbor.